Good day, good folks. You are listening to Talk That Keeps You Woke. And with your awakening, we hope that you will take in the information and knowledge we provide. So make sure you like and subscribe while you hop on this ride as we inform, persuade, entertain, and engage in discussion. Welcome to Pot Liquor Podcast, which is knowledge to feed your soul. I make up one half of Pot Liquor. I go by Dr. A, the inquisitive one. A great debater, Mr. Slow Talker, a rhetorician, and an all-around nice guy, and a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. The other half of Pot Liquor is my homie, my dear friend for more than 30 years, Kim Parker Jackson Esquire, the legal one, Mrs. Creativity, never obnoxious, the gifted one, a terrific lady, and a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. What's up? We're back. Partner, how was your past week?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. I am well. My week was good. And how about your week, Dr. A?
My week is productive. Like I said, we're on our way back to school. August 20th, I'm up at A&M. August 26th, I'm at Texas Southern University. So just getting prepared for that. But other than that, things are good. Can't complain. Had a flat tire. I thank God that I had the warranty.
Oh, no, I hate that.
I was in there shouting, though.
My tire light is on right now, so I'm hoping I don't have another nail in my tire.
But as long as you got the warranty, well, it's still money out your pocket. But my tires,
and you get reimbursed, right?
Yeah, my tires are like $250, $280, but it was $43. I was like, thank you.
I know, but I feel like if I have another nail in my tire right now, they're gonna think I'm committing fraud because I just changed
you work
two
on
tires.
a construction. You work on a construction site.
I know, this is crazy. People just
so welcome to Pot Liquor. This is episode 63. 63, and as always, we start our show off with the wow for the week.
Words of wisdom.
Yes, that's words of wisdom, and it comes from Gwendolyn Brooks, a noted poet. And she says, first fight, then fiddle. Very simple, but basically to me is like get your house in order first. You could take it that way before you play around. Do your homework before you go outside. This is all the things that I take from this. But first fight is like stand up for yourself before you joking around and messing around. Be strong and then play. What say you, partner?
Absolutely. And stated another way, handle your business before pleasure. Exactly. So we don't have time to be playing around. Let's get it. Let's get the job done. Then you can sweat the small stuff.
So Gwendolyn Brooks, I'm just going back in my heyday. She was published by somebody that like kind of started me in Afrocentric conscious. His name is Hakeem Mahabouti. And her poetry book was published by Chicago Black Press, which is his company out in Chicago. And then she came to Morgan State, and I never forget, she had like a bad cough when she came to deliver her poetry, and she had a big bottle of medicine, So you talking about circa 1988. This has happened in the fall of 88. And she took that, it was codeine cough medicine, and she took it and drank it. She's just like, y'all gotta excuse me because if I don't drink this, I'll be coughing all day. But she was very funny, very intelligent, and she is Miss Gwendolyn Brooks. First fight, then fiddle.
She was the first African American to receive a Pulitzer Prize.
Is it African American?
She won the Pulitzer Prize for poetry on May 1st, 1950 for her book Annie Allen, making her the first African American to receive a Pulitzer Prize. I did not know that.
She's the first Black woman, but she's the first Black person.
It says African American. And she passed away in 2000 at the age of 83.
Yeah, she was when she came to our school. I remember she was in her 50s, I believe. But dynamic individual. Definitely. All right.
And let us move on. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, what's going on?
Okay, what's going on? So today it was because of the Olympics, I guess, and because of everything centered around the presidential campaigns. Kind of, it was a slow news week for pot liquor. Let me say, other things happened, like condolences out to all the families that lost their loved ones in the plane crash in Brazil. But some of the things like just don't fit our format sometimes.
I didn't hear
So
about the plane crash in Brazil.
I told you about it on pre-production meeting.
What happened?
They 61 people or 62 people wound up killed in the plane crash in Brazil. They're investigating. I don't know the full details of that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
sad. That is sad. But we're gonna get into the world of reality television. That's what we're gonna talk about right now.
Okay. Well, I consider myself somewhat of an expert
Okay,
in
so we
that.
have an expert with us today.
Only because that's one of my guilty pleasures. I do watch reality shows.
As they would say, special guest in the MFN building. On the show that we watch, the Plastic Cup Boys. So I can't say that I am a reality show expert. I can say when Atlanta Housewives first came on, I think that first season or first season and a half, I watched, and I think the first and second season of Basketball Wives I watched.
Did you watch voluntarily or because Felicia was watching it?
I'm not even gonna say. I don't know if Felicia and I was even knew each other then.
Oh, okay. Because
But
Brian,
when did
don't ask
Atlanta
me when it
Housewives
started.
come up?
I would have
Let
to
me
Google
check.
it. It's been
Yeah,
a long time.
it's been a minute, right? I
Oh
mean,
yeah. Because it's a whole franchise. They got Atlanta, they got Potomac, they got New York, they got um
08.
oh
Yeah.
08, October 7, 2008.
October. Yeah, I wasn't even in Houston yet. I came to Houston a year later. So with Basketball Wives, I think I knew Felicia then. Um, but I'm gonna just give my real spiel of it. And this was more so the Basketball Wives first.
So 16 years it's been on.
Yeah,
Is my math right?
it was a turn off because of the bickering, and I'm
Which
saying
one? You talking about
the
all of them or
Atlanta Housewives was the bickering. Basketball wise, the first year, if you remember, it was real chill. A lot of people said it was boring. The word out on the street was like they had to ramp it up, and then the second season, all these fights started to happen.
right?
And so I didn't like the representation of Black women in either one of the shows. Atlanta Housewives a little bit more because they at least went into their careers. I thought Basketball Wives, all they did was go out to eat and talk and wear nice things, which is nothing wrong with that. But then I felt like when we up and have plenty of money to do things, we still get ratchet and act ignorant, like we living on top of each other in the slums again. I understand why people fight when they're in close proximity to each other, when they're packed like housing projects and things of that nature. Usually, but you'll find like some, unrelenting peace sometimes in those situations. But this, I felt like this is a media portrayal. I thought it was buffoonery because one, I didn't think the woman had to do so for the money. If they were truly basketball wives. Two, fighting never solves anything, and I know that's an old cliche, but it was ridiculous. One of the ladies wound up suing basketball wives. I think Speedy Claxton wife, when Tammy punched the hell out of her when they were in Rome or Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that coming down. I could see it ramping up, and I just thought that is ridiculous. And people will say that's their show. Love and Hip Hop, I watched, but it wasn't enough love, and it sure wasn't enough hip hop on that show. And I feel like if it was hip hop, if we showed these people making songs and records and trying to build their careers, I think that show would have been better. I think it would have went to the top of the charts. But we looking at personal stuff, So that's my take.
Well, I think it's because conflict sells. So, and that's my kind of, although I am a fan of these shows. My only critique is that they manufacture conflict, and that's what because that's what people like to see. And you said something about it was kind of boring when it first came on, and people would wear nice clothes and go out to dinner and have nice conversations. Now, I watched it even then, and I found it interesting because I'm into the fashion and into how people are putting together their outfits, how they're doing their makeup, how they're doing their hair, what cars they might be driving. To me, all of that is just fun to look at. So it's kind of like eye candy. So I was entertained just by that. But it's almost like they put the women in an environment that is conducive to having a conflict. Like they literally create conflict and scenarios that are going to cause conflict among the women. And it's like entrapment. It's like putting a criminal in a situation where they're going to commit a crime. You say it's like a perfect storm for conflict to happen. And it would be about something that is so insignificant that it's just ridiculous. Like somebody said something about somebody's child or something. And it could be something innocuous, or it could be, it could be something totally innocuous, but they have this sort of unwritten rule that children and families are off limits. So if somebody says, oh, so-and-so's daughter got a haircut or something,
didn't get into this private school.
Right. It becomes a big issue and a big conflict. And it's really like, it's not that big of a deal. But so that's my only critique. Other than that, I enjoy what I watch Love and Hip Hop. I watch Housewives of Atlanta. I watch.
It makes me start to look at the African American audiences. We like controversy and conflict. We like fights. And people will say, well, Shantae, everybody likes that. And I would agree. The only thing I always say about these shows, I wouldn't watch them. I don't mind that they're on, but what I mind that in television, there's not enough to balance it out or surpass it. Like if you just said that, I said in television land, there's not enough other Black shows to balance out those shows.
Okay.
I mean, now I'm looking at it, there has been over the past year and a half. there are several shows that have come on, and I think one thing, and we should talk about this one time, is like they're starting to put together shows or produce shows on the international stage for African Americans.
For example.
Like in France or Africa, these
Yeah.
television shows that we watch, it's based a little in America, some international, it's all over the place, and they have international actors. You know, like Rich, what was that? What did we watch? We did a refill on Rich Girl, Riches, the Riches, right? And
Oh,
so,
okay. So
right, so
not reality shows, like series.
yeah,
Television
serious.
series.
So I'm saying other shows that balance out the other. And in the article I sent you, I know I sent it late. They talked about T.I.'s family. I remember Reverend Run's house. That was a
Right. That's the
yeah,
one I
yeah.
thought about that was good with no big conflicts. That was
And Lala,
entertaining.
they say Lala had, a show. So to me, those shows are exciting to me. And even that when the two daughters from Run, Angie and I forgot the oldest one's name. When they
Vanessa.
Vanessa, yeah, when they had their spinoff from the Run's house. And theirs was interesting because it was about them trying to accomplish and do something.
Oh, you know one that I just started watching where there's no conflicts like that and it's totally perfectly entertaining. I started watching Wayne Brady's reality show. It comes on Hulu. And I like him. And it's just about him and his family and the issues that they go through as a family. He has a kind of not really a blended family, but so he was married to a woman and he had a daughter with her. His daughter's name is Miley. She's also an entertainer in Hollywood. And then his ex-wife started, after they got divorced, I guess, started dating one of Wayne Brady's dancers. And so he was kind of jealous of that at first, but now they're the best of friends. Wayne Brady's ex-wife, who's the mother of his daughter, is his best friend. Like they're best friends. And so they all are kind of like a family unit. His ex-wife, who is with his dancer that she calls her life partner. Like she vowed like she's never going to get married again. Because the divorce was so painful to her. She feels like if I don't get married, then there's no chance that I'll have to go through another divorce. But she loves this man. They actually had another child together. And Wayne Brady kind of helps to raise her child with his dancer. So but they all get along great. They do TikTok videos together because they're all dancers. And they're just one big happy family, but they deal with, instead of like having fights and stuff like that, they deal with real family issues. Like, for example, this family unit that they've created has been complicated because now Wayne Brady has come out and he's done this on the show as being pansexual. And on top of that, he had like a little affair with one of his ex-girlfriends whom he actually got pregnant. So now he's having this other new baby that's been born. And so they're trying to figure out how to co-parent. And then his ex-wife is helping facilitate that. And clearly, although he's pansexual, which means the way he explained it is he may want to date a man, a woman, a transsexual, a gay, whatever.
Any sexual,
right, any person. He's just attracted to people, whoever, But he clearly has a type because his ex-wife is Asian woman. I'm not sure if she's Filipino or what, but she's Asian. And then his ex-girlfriend that he had this baby with, that they really don't get along. I guess he just had a moment of weakness because she's also Asian. Okay. So they look similar, but I'm not sure like if what Asian country they're what their nationality is. But the other thing is he struggles with depression, so he talks about that. And so the moral of the story is that you can have a black reality show that's not ratchet, that's still interesting, that's still entertaining, especially if you like the person that is the star of the reality show. That's really what it's about. So if you're a Wayne Brady fan, you're going to enjoy this. And like I'm a Tony Braxton fan, so I enjoy the Braxtons. And that just started back up again. I don't know if you know about Tamar, who
Yeah, their
attempted.
own show.
Well, she attempted to commit suicide. Thank God it didn't. Didn't work, and she's still here. So she's on this new show as well, and they get into how their sister Tracy passed away from esophageal cancer, and so it's all about that. And although they're one big happy family and it shows their sisterly bond and everything, they get into fights and stuff too, but nothing more than regular siblings would get into. So, and I like that show. So there's different levels of ratchetity, on the different shows, and there's a variety of reality shows. But I would say for the most part, they're harmless. You can speak more to, since you're an expert in this area, the representation of Black people amongst the various shows and how they can be positive or negative, uh, or beneficial or detrimental to African Americans in the country. You can speak more to that issue. I can only speak as a fan, as someone who watches.
No, you can speak to black representation. Come on now. You might not you might not have read all the textbooks and articles and studies and did the surveys and stuff like that I have. I get that. But you can look at something and say this doesn't represent me, or it's a bad representation of African American or African American families. You're more
I
than
just
astute enough to do that.
I guess I just feel like I have more. I just feel like I'm smart enough to understand that a representation is not the representation for a race of people.
No, but
There's just
it
other
doesn't have
people who choose
it
to do
doesn't
that.
have to it doesn't have to impact everybody in our African American community, but you start to see, like, let's forget about the ratchetness. Let's
Mhm.
just talk about, and rap artists are to blame for this too, in America too. So I don't want you to think this is a black thing, but the materialism and not working or not being shown working, because you could have a job, but they're not showing you working, is
Mhm.
something that impacts people who look like them who view this, because they feel they grow up, they should have that purse, they should have that car, they should have those shoes, they should have that dress, and somebody else should get it for them. That's a bad representation of women. And some of these women in the show actually work, but they don't show their work. So to me, as a woman on the show, I if I'm showing off my goods like you like, I want folks to know, like, I put hard work in to get these goods. Like, I just wasn't drinking margaritas at lunchtime every day, eating at this restaurant, this place, and that place every day. I was just like, it has to be something more than conflict, conflict resolution, and food and material.
So you don't think that the average viewer can distinguish between what they're watching on TV and what?
I don't think the younger viewer really, I think that alters their behavior in their work ethic. And I would say particularly African American women.
I mean, because to me, it's no different from curated
Rap
images,
videos.
curated images on social media. Well, where people show their fabulous, luxurious life,
Yeah, but you don't have to add.
but it's curated. And so they're only showing what they want you to see, and they may be painting a rosy picture that their life is wonderful and luxurious, but in reality, that may not be what is exactly
You
happening.
see how what you just talked about Wayne Brady and Braxton's, and
Yes.
how they have their family controversy and issues that they go through that
Yeah.
are not made up,
Yeah.
right? So what I'm saying to you is, like, I'm not saying these shows are not entertaining. They are. And I do give credit, since we have an onslaught or an influx of new cable stations, that there are more Black representation going on. So you do have the choices to look at other shows. But I still think that these shows with these women, you have to be careful how you represent yourself to people younger, especially when you do things like this. And this is what I say: on the contract that you sign, you'll say things like, my kids cannot be shot in this reality show.
And by shot, you mean filmed.
Filmed, yes. They cannot be filmed in this reality show. I'm taking them away from that. So you don't want, you could, because you don't want people judging your kids, or they becoming too famous too soon, or whatever it could be. You're protecting
Or for
them.
just security reasons, yeah.
Security reasons, right? So I'm just saying that the shows are balanced out by other shows now, but I wish the show would become more balanced, because Love and Hip Hop is all about ratchet and fighting and not music. Like, how many of them have come? K Michelle comes out of Love, and I think she's out of Love and Hip Hop, right?
Yes. I
Yeah.
think that's
Okay.
what
So
she
K
started.
Michelle had a recording career. Cardi B
Cardi B. Mhm.
had I'm not going to count Joe and Consequence, because Joe Buttons and Consequence, because they were already rappers before they came on, and Scrappy was a rapper before he came on. What's the dude?
Young Jock.
Young Jock. It's going down, yeah. So, and I'm saying, like, why they continue to be on the show? Is it because of the check?
Well, it's the same reason why on Basketball Wives, none of them are basketball wives.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal's wife was a basketball wife. The
Well,
other
yeah,
one had
she's no longer on the show. She's just the producer.
No, I
collecting the
know
check.
that, but I'm saying she was on the show though. She started the show, actually.
Right, but I guess what I'm saying, for example, Jen is still on there, and she's still on there on the strength of previously being married to an NBA player, from which she got a divorce. She got a divorce from this guy. I forgot his name. But since then, she's shown her dating other men or being engaged to other men that are not basketball players.
No, but I'm saying they were basketball
Yeah,
wives.
right.
Like Tammy used to be married to Kenny Anderson.
But Evelyn never got married to a
Dwight
basketball
Howard?
player. She's on there. No, did I say? Who did I say? Evelyn. Evelyn is on there because she was previously engaged to a basketball player. I forgot his name, Anthony something. But she was previously engaged to him, never got married. And so she's still on the show to this day, but has never been married to a basketball player. So that's the name of the show. And then there's another girl on there who was
They're not gonna call it Basketball Baby Mamas.
No, and they never had babies with the basketball players either. But they're just continuing characters on the show.
Wasn't Matt Barnes' wife on there? The one that started messing with Derek Fisher?
No, that was the sister, Laura Govan, who was married, she never married Gilbert Arenas. But
I ain't talking about Gilbert Arenas. I said Matt Barnes, the one that does Up in
no,
Smoke.
Matt Barnes was married to Laura Govan's sister. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. Laura Govan's sister wasn't really like a main character. She may have been on the show as Laura's sister, but Laura was the character on Basketball. But she had like 5 children with Gilbert Arenas, but they never got married.
She had 5 children with Gilbert Arenas?
4 or 5, yeah.
They were married?
They never got married. He never married her. Remember, there was a big story because he gave her a ring, like she had an engagement ring, but they never got married. And then when he was ready to break up with her, he stole the ring and replaced it with a fake ring.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah,
That's that whole story. So they never got married, but she had all these children for him.
Yeah. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
And let us move on.
She had 4 children with him.
All right. The white middle class argument. So we came up with this discussion because sometimes my friends that are listening to this recording, y'all know this is true. Sometimes when we have arguments, we'll kind of like shun the white argument to the side about us. And I'm talking about the white middle class argument. And that argument to me, one of them at least, and I'm talking like in the world of academia, is why they don't want, why they're against affirmative actions and things of this nature, is because they feel like black middle class people who are black and middle class have an advantage because of their quote unquote minority status within the United States, which have given them some opportunity, financial opportunities to send their kids to school where the white middle class feels like, yeah, the rich upper class whites, their parents pay their way. It's tougher for us to pay our way.
But hold on. So you're saying when you say they are against affirmative action, you're talking about the white middle class?
Yeah.
Even though affirmative action benefited white women more than anybody?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, we have those arguments. I'm dissecting.
Aren't you cutting off your nose to spite
what I'm trying to do with this discussion? I want to state this now, is display their argument that they have and show that it shows some merit. Because I would always say is just because you're of a certain race doesn't mean that you are having the benefit of everybody in that race. And that's Kate. Now, when you look at class and race, it's a different story. So when you look at economic depravity, so what I'm saying is a black family makes $200,000 a year in the household. A white family makes $200,000 a year in the household. Now, it used to be there's no more affirmative action based on race. So scratch that. It used to be, but it's not. It's based on economics. So both of those households kind of get shunned. But there are a lot of scholarships for quote unquote minority students. And that's based on, them, some schools trying to grab
because they're underrepresented minorities. They're underrepresented.
Grab African Americans, Hispanics, whatever nationality.
Because they're
maybe with the exception of.
I'm just saying.
Let me get the argument discussion out that they have. Like, if you're going to get defensive on defending the thing before I get it out, I'm trying to get the argument out.
Go ahead.
All right. So, and I've heard people say like, well, school costs $22,000 a year. If you're getting $6,000 a semester, right, that's $12,000. Then you're paying $10,000 a year. If I'm not getting anything, I'm paying $22,000. Why are you getting this money and I'm not getting this money? We're in the same boat. You make the same thing I do. And so from a financial standpoint, because it's a financial argument, this is their discussion. This is why they're upset with programs like this. This is their attitude because it's based on what they're not able to do. And they feel like opportunity is going toward other people because they're in a certain race or a certain nationality. And so that can bring about resentment toward people, and they feel like, and that can bring across negative stereotypes and stigmas toward people of other races. It can cause them to act out. And so when I listened to that argument, I said, it has some merit, but there's different ways to debunk the argument. Now you're on stage. You have the floor. You can talk about, the different reasons why you can refute what they're talking about.
Well, I guess I don't understand what. So, what is your purpose for trying to show that their argument has merit?
Because in conversations I have with my friends, they're dismissive of white folks' argument. I don't want to hear what they got to say.
So you agree that their argument has merit?
It has some merit from a financial standpoint. Yeah, it has some merit. I don't know where the vitriol and the hatred comes in that can draw from that, but it has some merit. If I'm making the same amount of money as you, and you are and you're getting scholarship or financial funding partially based on that you're an African American, and I'm not getting those, yeah, I have a problem with that. I can have a problem with that.
Okay. Well, the problem is you're being selective about what you choose to have a problem with. Because did you have a problem when Black people were denied educational opportunities? Did you have a problem when Black people make far less than white people do in this country and have far less wealth than white people in this country because they were enslaved? And so they were unable to pass along generational wealth.
This is going down the wrong track already.
No, because
it is
not.
Because I'm trying to tell
you.
You
said I could talk. You said I could talk and give my
but I'm telling you,
position.
I'm right. You're stating your position, but go ahead.
So my position is, how can these middle-class white families or white people have a problem with a solution that was put into place because this whole racial construct was created unbeknownst to Black people? Black people had nothing to do with this racial construct that was created in America that caused Black people, there's a problem that they created in society, and now you want to be mad because now there's a solution to try to correct the problem that racial construct created. And that is because Black people were denied educational opportunities, and so therefore you have an underrepresentation of Black people in certain educational spaces. In order to correct that, Black people were given incentives. First of all, because of the wealth gap, if they can't afford the tuition, how are they going to be able to matriculate into the university
Can we
for
stay on
the education.
for the
That's
sake of
what it's about, though.
for the sake of the discussion? Let's just take this one at a time. So you said Black folks were denied education. They was
Right,
denied.
and nobody was. It seemed like those families weren't concerned about that when
It
that
was
was happening, and
okay.
that
So
wasn't there. So, are you saying that you don't want the problem to be corrected?
let me say this.
That's
I'm gonna keep this current because their argument is going to be, I wasn't around when that happened. America has evolved since then. They have eradicated that problem. They built Black schools first, and you're talking about way over 100 years ago.
how is the problem
It
eradicated?
was racism all the way up to the 60s and 70s about the 70s, 80s about the denial of folks coming in. But I'm talking today. I'm talking in the past decade, right? So 2014 to 2024, 2015 to 225. So I'm telling you, their argument was, I wasn't around when that happened. So affirmative action.
And I wasn't around. A lot of Black people weren't around when it happened either, but they're still dealing with the vestiges of what happened in the past. And so that's why we still have a racial gap.
That argument in college, and that's why I keep it in academia right now. That argument in college doesn't fly because of affirmative action. And then they got upset with affirmative action.
But
and I don't even think it was. I don't
trying-
even think it was
Okay,
affirmative action with. It was with African Americans and Asian Americans.
It was an attempt to solve the problem, but the problem is we still have the problem.
If we have underrepresentation of African Americans at PWIs today, it's because African Americans don't want to attend PWIs. And that's factual. So, your second argument, you don't agree with that?
I would need to see the data on that.
Yeah,
that,
Black
that
people.
shows that.
I one of the institutions I teach at, they try hard to recruit Black folks. And I just thought of something for you after the show. They try hard to recruit Black folks, but a lot of Black students don't want to go to this institution because it's already built a representation of.
Well, that sounds anecdotal, so that's why I say I would need to see the statistics on that because I don't know that.
It's not anecdotal. I was in.
Okay, but what is the stats? We need the stats on that. I mean, that's even hard to quantify.
All right. Trust me, right now, I don't have the stats. I was on the committee. I saw the numbers, right? At my institution where
At one institution.
At my institution where I work.
And that's one.
Okay. All right. So talking to Black administrators that talk to other Black administrators, this goes on around the country. Not schools like University of Maryland, so to speak, but schools that may have the representations like Duke, like University of Virginia, like University of Michigan. And I'm only saying this because these three schools was on PBS special about discriminatory practices at institutions. Now, I want to say this was 20-something years ago when this came out. So the door is open. They're trying to recruit more.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, let me tell you why I think that argument can be refuted. That argument can be refuted if you just look at the graduation rate at HBCUs. So when we're talking about HBCUs, that takes out that whole argument with being uncomfortable at PWIs or not feeling like you're part of you can fit in culturally at a PWI. What do you mean?
Explain that, what you just said.
So you said a lot of Black students don't want to go to PWIs because it's not a good fit culturally. So I'm saying, okay, let's take that out of the picture. Let's take that out of the picture.
I said they don't want to go to some PWIs because of that. Black
Okay.
folks are attending
So,
University of Maryland, and I guarantee you I mean, we just saw what happened at North Carolina, but I'm
this
sure
all
they're going to
started because you said Black people don't want to go to PWIs. They're underrepresented at PWIs because they don't want to go there. That's what you said.
I said it's
because. But what I'm saying to you is, it's not. That's not. First, I question that statement. I would need to see the stats on that first, because I just don't know. But then I said, if you just common sense look at the graduation rate at HBCUs, the graduation rate at HBCUs is abysmal. And I would submit that a large part of
you don't have stats on that. Don't take what I said about one institution and stretch it out to every institution. Because
the point that I'm making
HBCUs are still putting more folks in graduate and professional schools. So
I know, but you can look at the graduation rate at most HBCUs, it's very low. And I would submit that is because students oftentimes run into financial issues trying to just finish school, which again goes back to a lack of wealth and resources.
That's not the reason, but go ahead.
Okay, but I'm just challenging your assertion that the reason why Black students are underrepresented at PWIs is because they don't want to be there. I just don't know that that's true. But at any rate,
I can get you hard data from one institution, probably two, right? I'm telling you, right, with my association with other African-American professors at other institutions of what's going on. But you ain't got to believe me. I'm just your boy for 30 years. I'm telling you, I have Black students in my school now at a PWI.
I'm not questioning. I'm just saying that's one.
Let me finish, because this is an important point that I asked questions to. And I said, if you had to do it over again, would you come to this institution? And they say, no, emphatically. Why'd you come? They gave me a lot of money. I'm not saying that's every institution. I know where I teach and what institution I go to.
So, but you would argue that the middle class white family would be hating on them for that because they got a lot of money to go to that school.
I'm not using the word hating there on them, on the people. I'm saying that they thought the policy should be structured different. And they are. They are structured different. There's a lot of guilt.
See, but here's my thing with these middle-class white families that resent Black students getting financial support to go to college. The problem with that is that I think that they're focused on the wrong thing. Why are you worried about what benefit that someone else is receiving? Just worry about yourself. So if you got a problem that you're not getting enough resources, then let's talk about that. So
that's what they're trying to say. They said
there's enough for everybody to go around.
Well, that's what their argument is. They should spread the money evenly.
There's enough to go around, but you can't hate on Black people receiving financial assistance to go to college.
Your argument is strong because this is what turns these discussions up when we start using words like hating on Black people. Right. They don't like the policy that gives you an extra opportunity. That doesn't mean they hate on African Americans. Right. So what I'm saying is there's policies that I don't like that give rich people like crazy cuts. I don't hate on rich people. Right. And I know you don't mean it that way, but I'm just trying to straighten out the language that way. Because when we use these words, hate and resentments, that's why we never get to have discussion.
Okay, your concern is that you're not getting the financial assistance that you need to send your child to college. Why am I in it? Why are Black people in it? Why?
Because you
need to advocate for yourself. Don't worry about this. These are the same.
They are advocating for themselves. You're putting the argument that their only argument is against folks getting money that they don't deserve. They're saying, why can't the money, like you just said, be spread evenly? But there's arguments against that. There's arguments that you first said when I stopped you so I could get the arguments out that speak loudly to that. So what I'm saying, I guess, is like there's a way to address their argument without it being incendiary. That's what I'm trying to say. Like sometimes
if they can't be intellectually honest, if they
people
can't
can
be
make a point, right? People can make a point, and you can say, "Okay, I hear your point, but here's a counterpoint." And you're not getting mad at them because they made a point, because they trying to make sure their kids have an education and everything. It's just when we're conversing,
but I said that. I said, okay, I see what you're saying. So you should focus on advocating for yourself to get the assistance that you need to send your child to college. But don't focus on what Black people may be getting, which is, in the grand scheme of things, is not that much.
They're talking about all minorities. You saw what they did with Asians at these upper class schools. They thought that, remember, they were having quotas. They were saying too many Asians were getting into the Ivy League schools, but if you went by merit, meritocracy, they deserve it. A lot of times they were saying African Americans don't deserve to get into these institutions, but the graduation rates have changed. And not all HBCUs graduation rates are bad. I just want to say that. There's some that are. There are some that are. So I'm saying this is just their argument, and I'm only saying this is their argument in academia. We can hit other issues, in discussions. Because the people in the middle, African Americans, I don't care who you are, what race you are, if you're in the middle class, you benefit the least. It's the rich, the poor, and then the middle. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
All right.
And let us
because
move
we're
on.
in the middle. And
all right, this is another topic. And this stems from a conversation I had with a dear friend, kind of that stemmed from something that was, let's say, posted on social media. All right, so my questions are non-traditional Black families looked down upon in the greater Black community? When I say greater Black community, to define, I'm talking about the entire Black community. So we have some situations where families, their children, if we're going from the religious perspective, Christianity, that are born out of wedlock. Back in the day, if you got pregnant, I'll speak for my church, and I'm saying way back in the day when I was young, if you got pregnant and you wasn't married, you had to apologize in front of the church.
Oh, that is extreme and humiliating.
And I think Seventh-day Adventists, you have to sit on the other side of the church. There's a side you have to sit on. But they eradicated that.
Good.
The Black church has evolved. Most Black churches have evolved. I would say that, because I haven't heard or seen that in a long time. But the conversation came out about choices. Like if you're a woman, or if you're a man and you have 3 kids by 3 different fathers, and if you're a man and you have 3 kids by 3 different women,
Nick Cannon.
Well, let's not talk about
No,
him.
I'm just kidding.
That comes up. But we just talking about regular black folks that live in everyday society.
Yeah.
Because the idea was like, can this person consider themselves a prize or not? And I don't know. I think there's a lot of elitist talk. Situation. When I say elitist talk, I'm talking about, because I want everybody to understand what I'm saying, because they say, what do you mean by elitist? So I want to first put that. Let me show you what the definition of elite is first. A select group that is superior in terms of ability or qualities to the rest of a group or society. Right? A group or class of people seen as having the greatest power and influence within the society, especially because of their wealth or privilege. You get that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's the definition I'm losing. Like we the black elite, they're talking about the powerful, the wealthy. We're indoctrinated in this society, all people, is to grow up, what's in the stat and get the American dream, right?
Yes.
So you would say you have achieved that all the way around. Not that you was dreaming for it.
I didn't say
you
that.
classify as people who reach the American dream.
You said I what now?
You classify, you and your family classifies as meeting the American family dream.
If you say so.
Okay. For the sake of this discussion, I have to ask you, what is the American dream? Because they push that everybody wants the American dream. Do you know the saying, like what Malcolm says, household, 2 kids, white picket fence around there. So home ownership, married home ownership, 2 kids, good jobs, blah, blah, blah. That's the American dream.
See, I would argue that that may have at one point been the American dream, but I perceive it
still is.
But I perceive it more now with our culture to be
with our culture,
just American culture. It's one of excess. Like if you don't have now, especially portrayed in social media, if you don't have the private jet, the yacht,
that's the American super dream.
But that's what it almost has become.
It's impossible for everybody in the world to own a jet like a car. There's not enough space to put the planes. So what I'm saying is, let's go back to the American dream they talk about. An American dream has to be achievable. And so they're not going to make it far-fetched, because then they say everybody ain't going to be able to achieve the American dream. So it's kind of a simple dream, right?
Go ahead. Because I just told you what I thought.
Explain your dream then. Because then I can't
It's not my dream.
I won't be able to move on with.
Okay, go ahead. Let's go with the Malcolm definition.
Okay, so what I'm saying by that, right there in there, is marriage is one.
Okay.
Part of the dream. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Married, 2.5 kids, a white picket fence.
There you go. Thank you.
Dog.
Thank you. Thank you, partner.
You left the dog out. You left the dog out.
Y'all got the dog. Y'all got the dog. Y'all have the American dream.
You left the dog out. You left the dog out.
So I wouldn't be a part of that American dream. I wouldn't have achieved that American dream. I'm happy where I am, but I don't have.
Wait, you are old. Wait a minute. You are old cat man.
What's
with
that?
no kid. You heard
Oh,
about
the women. Okay, a cat woman. Okay, yeah, cat man.
what did he
Um,
call him? He called him something kind of something cat woman, old cat woman, or what did he call it?
I don't know. He's an idiot.
JD made. Let me see. I'm gonna give
So
you the exact term.
I don't fit that because I'm not married, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we become a part, and I said like, okay, we talking American dream, which we were all indoctrinated to have. Yeah, go ahead.
This is my church finger. He said, "Childless cat lady."
Mm,
So you're a childless cat man.
yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
But it's funny he didn't say that about men.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's very sexist, misogynistic.
We talking about JD Vance
Yeah,
for y'all.
his stupid cat lady
So,
comment.
well, I don't meet that mold.
You mean of the American dream?
Dream, right.
Okay.
I don't. So we got in the conversation. So if I had three mothers, right, with three kids, and I had three
baby mamas.
yeah, I don't trying to say it without saying that. But if I had three women who birthed my child, then that takes me away from the American dream, the indoctrination of what family is. Right.
So what you're talking about really is identity politics, basically.
Yeah, and then and
People being
elitism.
judgmental. Yeah.
Right. Because my question would be, there is differences and there are advantages. But I'm not quick to say one is better than the other.
I think people should have that's the thing. To me, this is America. It's a free country. You're free to construct whatever family you want to construct. Everybody the families are different.
Right.
And families are made up differently for different people. And it's you should have that freedom in America to do that.
When you
If you
have
want to
that,
have two mothers, two fathers, a mother and a father, no kids, blended family with kids from previous relationships, however you find your family unit is how you find your family unit. As long as there's love, I feel like that's your business. And it's no one should judge that. That's just how I feel about it. What do you think?
I agree.
Yeah.
Because a part of, let's dissect the dream. There's marriage, right? So there's family, there's home ownership, and I guess those are the three that we're looking. Oh, no, and there's career.
Gainful employment, yes.
Yeah, career, gainful employment. Those four things.
Yeah.
So if somebody doesn't have one of them, then they're out of the American dream. So then does that make the people who have the American dream, their families more elite? No, I don't think so. But when you talk down about the other families, then I feel like, okay, you're acting like an elite. Because at the end of the day, family is a social construct. Right? Would you agree with that?
In terms of what one would consider a normal family, yes.
No, I'm saying family, period, is a social construct. Nobody talked about when we came into this world, like it wasn't like automatically like, oh, this man and woman, they should be wed. And when they get married, then it's not inside of you. You're taught.
Well, that's why I think I agree with you saying that. But I think that's why I said the social construct part of it is how it is defined by our society. and what one would consider a normal family. For example, marriage, the 4 things you said: marriage, children,
Home ownership, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So we've in our country, we've constructed that socially to be an acceptable, normal definition of the typical family. And
Right.
we've done that because we've created laws to benefit that kind of a structure. For example, you might get a tax break if you have children. You might get a tax break if you own a home, and then you can itemize deductions from the interest that you pay on the mortgage for the home, for
But
example.
you can
That's
do
a
all of
tax
that.
advantage.
You can do all of that with a non-traditional family.
Well,
You can
then,
have 2 kids with 2 separate women. You can live by yourself in your own home. Hell, you can own 2 homes.
right.
Right. So what I'm saying is it's not put together like the package they want to, but there's still
You
benefits.
still get the benefits,
Right.
right.
Right. It's
Some of them, I mean, but then you have other legal issues. For example, if someone should pass, where does your
So,
stuff go?
okay.
It's not going to go to your baby mama.
You're right on key, because I was just about to say on Joe Budden's latest podcast is 748. Now, it's not the latest because he has a 749. They talk about that.
Mhm.
They talk about the practicality of situations with marriage.
Mhm.
Like, they were talking about families, and Joe said, do you need to get married, or can I just put you in the will? Now, a lot of people feel like, wills can change. A person can change their will a week before they die, right? But what I'm saying is,
you can be in the will, but that's going to cost you more money.
That's going to cost you what?
More money.
You mean to pay the will?
No, to execute the will, because once you pass and your property goes to the person that you want it to go to, you still have to go through probate, and then there's cost for that. Whereas if you were married, it would just if you were married and you own the property,
how about if their name is on the deed
under tenants by the entireties, then it would automatically go to your spouse or whatever.
How about if the person's name is on the deed?
I believe you would still have to go through probate.
Okay,
but I'm not sure.
All right,
and
so
it probably is different depending on what state you're in as well.
So there's some benefits to the institution of marriage. I look at families as, because where I grew up, a lot of my friends knew their fathers, but their fathers didn't necessarily reside with them. I have some friends that I grew up with, never seen. I don't even know who their dad is. I know some kids grow up, might have seen their father once or twice in their life, never spent time with them.
And then there are families that are created when family members pass away, and then a lot of times people will take in the minor cousin or the minor niece or nephew, and you can make a home with that. A home that's created based upon circumstances that may have happened in your family.
Right. Or I can live with my wife and my wife's sister. Say my wife had a twin sister. She had 2 kids. She continued to date. She just didn't find a marriage. And then me and my wife had 3 kids. So it's 5 kids all together. Even though they first cousins, they're going to grow up like siblings.
There you go. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. So what I'm saying is, like, I don't think families should look down upon other family structures.
I agree.
So
I agree wholeheartedly.
That was my situation with that. Okay.
And let us move on.
Here I sit outside your door. Talk to me. Here I sit outside.
Talk of the town this week was Vice President Kamala Harris selects Tim Walz as her running mate. What say you?
I think this was a great choice. I really, really do. I like this guy. And I decided that first of all, let me just say, before she selected him as her running mate, I had never heard of him. Never heard of Tim Walz.
You didn't know he was in the final three?
Even before that, before he made the short list, I'm saying I had never heard of him.
Okay.
Yeah. So he is the governor of Minnesota. 60 years old, just like her. I liked the pick, and I decided that I liked him after I heard him speak at one of the campaign rallies. I think the one that was in Detroit, in Michigan, and he introduced her. I mean, there's nothing that you can dislike about this guy to me. It's like he was a high school teacher. He was a football coach, military. He even got personal with his background. He's been married. His wife's name is Gwendolyn, I believe. Gwen Walz. And that's the other thing. It's pronounced Walz and not Waltz. People have been calling him Waltz, but there's no T. It's just Walz, and it's pronounced Walls, like to the window, to the walls. And he's just very personable, very down to earth, very just plain talking. It seems to really be into playing his position as the let's just say he will be the vice president of the United States. He doesn't give me any type of vibes like he wants to be, like he aspires to be the president. He's going to play his position. He's pumping up Kamala Harris. I love that. And I think he's plain talking just like a Donald Trump, but smarter. So I think this is a great pick. She's not going to have any of the controversy that some of the other people on the short list may have come with. For example, Josh Gibson in Pennsylvania, they said he was Jewish and that he may.
Gibson or Shapiro?
I'm sorry, Gibson. My bad. Josh Shapiro. Because he's Jewish, and that was problems with the whole Palestinian Jewish conflict, Israeli conflict. So there's really, it just seems like they vetted him very well, and there's nothing that anybody can sort of hang their hat on in terms of attacking him and creating some type of scandal at the last minute.
It's enough for me. Like, put JD Vance next to former President Trump and put these two together like we have. It's a no-brainer to me, but that's just the way I thought. And I'm not telling people that neither one of them is above reproach. There's a lot to criticize Kamala Harris on, but I'm sorry. There's no comparison with her and Trump. I thought that she picked a jovial individual. I like their laughter and their lightheartedness and hopeful, because I think that's the spirit that needs to be spread across the country instead of this fear. Be fearful of these people, be fearful of that. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's not like if these two get into office, the CIA is going to suddenly say, we're not going to work as hard. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, to me, I'd rather deal with, a better demeanor, to me, more astute political minds. And yeah, let's roll the dice. So yeah, we've been hearing this on all the shows this week.
And I love that he came up with that word that describes Trump and JD Vance. one word that begins with a W.
Go
and
ahead.
It's so weird.
Oh,
See, they're just weird. And they are. Did you see that clip of J.D. Vance walking up
To the
to
air-
Vice
to the-
President Kamala Harris's Air Force?
that
what is it called?
showed
Air
a
Force
lot.
Two.
Showed a lot of immaturity and a lot of disrespect.
I mean, just dumb. Like trying to usurp some of the attention, trying to take off some of the steam that this campaign has, some of the excitement, some of the focus, because all the cameras are on them.
I mean, trying to be tough too, like trying to be bolden.
Like you need to
Not being
ask
respectful.
her
You're
questions.
not in the house
Yeah.
yet. You're not a vice president yet. You don't earn the right to go. You don't do things like that.
Wait, but did you hear what he said? He said, because this plane is going to be mine.
Yeah, I heard him.
Right. That's
The worst
weird.
thing he should ever sing, because folks don't even know you except when you was going off on Trump.
Right. Saying he was Hitler.
Yeah. So
now
now
your
all of a
tune is
sudden
changed.
you
Right.
supporting Hitler.
Exactly. So they're both weird. That's really it, especially with his childless cat lady comment. Like that was horrible.
I mean, he's getting a lot of feedback or pushback from Vance, even on Fox. You know, he has.
it is a dumpster fire, is what it is. They are slowly unraveling, and
Well, they have 3 debates, so I would just
they're gonna get eviscerated. They're gonna get eviscerated.
Just watch. I'm sure they're going to implore him not to. Let's see the level of respect he shows for women.
You talk about Trump?
Yeah, and people of color during the debate.
That's not going to happen.
Well,
He already
if they already told him if he does that, he's done.
Well, then you might as well you better stick a fork in him then, because he already called her a F&B. Did you see that? That's a news story. He called her a F&B.
Wait, was that court?
Yes.
So
he said it. I think he was at his golf course. I think he was at his golf course or playing golf or something.
So they overheard him say that.
Yeah. Let me see.
Stuff like that I don't like. I don't like that. You know, they caught it. He's stupid for saying it. Exactly. But I don't like that. Because I'm saying, like, we all say things in our private time that's meant to be private.
But some things you just wouldn't say. That's just totally disrespectful. Like, who does that?
There's a lot of people who have done that.
Here's a
lot of friends that done said this. Man, F that B.
Listen, there's video of Donald. This is the story. I'm reading this. It says there's a video of Donald Trump calling Vice President Kamala Harris an effing B while he's playing golf.
Whew.
And they got a link.
Have they played that yet?
They got a link to the video. Hold on. Don't let me have to play it now.
That old broken down pile of crap. Yeah. It's a bad guy. He just quit, He's quitting the race. Is that right? Yep. I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic. It's so amazing. It's just so fucking bad. So you just can't imagine. But can you imagine?
Did you hear that?
Dealing with Putin.
Yeah.
The president of China is a fierce.
This is recent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, November 5th is the day. Get out and, exercise your right to vote.
Early and often.
And let us move on.
Tripping. Yeah. Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Yeah. But am I tripping? Am I tripping? We got me. Am I tripping? Got me sipping. Got me thinking. Am I tripping?
I love that lead in. Okay, here we go, yo.
Well, this is where we play the Am I Tripping game. This is a card game that was created by Reese Colbert. You can buy it on Amazon.com, ReeseColbert.com. I mean, Am I Tripping Game.com. Cost you about $15-20. Okay, so Barry does for you. My friend keeps giving me hand-me-down clothes since her child is a year older than mine. The clothes are not up to my standards. I prefer designer over Walmart. But if I told her, she would be offended. Instead of rejecting the clothes, I donate them to charity. Am I tripping?
I would say no, you're not tripping. And the reason why I would say that is she must not pay attention to you. If you rocking Gucci, Louis, Fendi, or just, Levi's, what have you, and your stuff is not out of Walmart. And I can't say I never bought a t-shirt out of Walmart last minute or something. But, I definitely gotten underwear from Walmart, but I haven't done that in a while. But no, I don't think she's tripping. I think if you have a certain style, taste, I think your good friend should recognize that. And so I think that why leave it in the house and you're not going to put it on your daughter and it could be better used elsewhere. And I don't think, and she said she would be offended if she's like, nah, girl, I don't, keep that. So no, she's not tripping.
Well, listen, there are some circumstances under which people who wear designer clothes will wear Walmart clothes. For example, if you are going someplace where you're going to be getting your clothes dirty, say if you're going on a hike, are you really going to wear your Gucci, Louis, Fendi on a hike?
No,
Or
but you might wear your Lululemon on a hike. But what I'm saying is like,
or if
you
you going out, to
so you
garden, cut
saying
the grass, you're not going
she
to
should have used her daughter's best Walmart clothes for her daughter's dirty clothes when she come home from school.
No, I'm just saying, just because your friend is observing you wearing Gucci, Louis, Fendi, does not mean that you would never wear the Walmart clothes. Because you need to do yard work, you need to do housework, you need to go to have recrecreational
Yeah, but
activities.
the kids the clothes were for her kids. So is her kids doing yard work?
They
And
might
then
they might be outside
and I'm
playing.
sure she
You know
didn't
what?
say, "Here's some clothes so your daughter can do yard work with you." She's
No, but
thinking
I'm
these are
just
clothes to
saying.
go to school.
But I'm just saying your argument it's a good argument. It makes sense, but there's exceptions. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
Do you think she's tripping?
I see. Here's the thing. I think she's tripping only because I don't. I just feel like, wouldn't you be honest with your friends? Like you can have a
She just
honest
said that if
conversation
I
with your
told her,
friends.
you know your friends. If I told her, she would be upset. You know your friends. Is it worth getting upset?
No, but what I'm saying is, would she be upset if she said, well, I don't if okay, so say if you're giving me the clothes and I say, Shantae, I appreciate you giving me these clothes, but my daughter, this is not really my daughter's style, but I can take these and I can donate them to the Goodwill for you. Because really, you're just trying to get rid of the clothes.
Okay. We don't know the lady in the scenario.
Does that
But
make sense?
it doesn't matter if it makes sense, it's who you dealing with. So
So she would be
you tell me that first. I ain't got no Walmart clothes to give you. That's one. Two, but if you tell me that, yeah, I'm not gonna be mad at you. Like, no, I can give them the such and such. My daughter, she not gonna wear that. That's what I would do. I put it on my daughter. I said, my daughter fancy now. she's not gonna wear that.
So you would be honest, right?
Not if I
Is that what you
knew.
saying?
I
That
would
she
be
would be okay.
honest, but not if I knew my friend for several years and how she would react. I would save that.
Okay. So I think I do agree with you. I'm gonna say she's not tripping because whatever you got to do to keep the peace, like it's not going to harm you to just take the clothes and donate them to charity.
Right. That's
But
not
I
a
do
big
think,
lie.
but I do think at some point you don't think the friend gonna be like, how come I never see your daughter wearing the clothes that I gave you? You don't think that's gonna come up?
Girl, she don't like those clothes. And then you just tell her like she ain't like those clothes, so I gave them to the Goodwill.
And she gonna be like, why you ain't tell me? I could just give them to Goodwill myself. I thought she was gonna use the clothes.
I'm okay with that. I say you
See why honesty is the best policy? It's gonna come out. You might as well just be honest.
It may
that's
come
what I'm
out, it may
learning.
not. You might not recognize it. It doesn't just because let me say this. Because you good with somebody or good friends, don't mean y'all live in the same place. Like your good friend could live in Baltimore and you in Bowie. They ain't going to the same school. They
Okay, you're
kids
right.
are my friends. So
I'm gonna say she's not. I agree with you.
now
She
if
ain't
she
tripping.
live next door to you, then yeah, that's a problem.
I think that's better. I think accepting the clothes and donating them to charity is better than saying, girl, I want them already Walmart clothes. We don't wear those.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't say that. She didn't say that.
Right. So it's better to just take the clothes, donate them to charity. Everybody's happy. Okay. My friend's fiance told her he doesn't want any more kids, but she has secret plans to get pregnant anyway. Her fiance confided in my husband that he got snipped. I think she deserves to know that. But my husband swore me to secrecy, and I don't want to put him in the middle of any drama. Am I tripping?
You know what? This time when you read it, the word that jumped out to me was fiance. Now,
okay.
Can you read it again?
This couple is about to get married.
Did she get?
Okay.
Did she have kids?
That's not in here. My friend's fiance told her he doesn't want any more kids. Oh, so he has kids because he doesn't want any more kids. Oh, wait a minute. It might be their kids together. See, that's not clear here.
Right.
My friend's fiance told her he doesn't want any more kids. So I don't know if that's his kids or their kids.
Keep reading.
Okay. But she has secret plans to get pregnant anyway. Her fiance confided in my husband that he got snipped. I think she deserves to know. But my husband swore me to secrecy, and I don't want to put him in the middle of any drama. Am I tripping?
So she says she don't want to put him in any. No, let me say this. She's not tripping.
I agree. I don't think she's tripping.
But I'm gonna say this though,
because sometimes you got to mind your business.
We don't know the situation. Now, I would tell the fiance, but if he told her when she's a fiance, that's bad. I don't want any more kids. Given, say for instance, the kids are not her.
Why is that bad? You said why is that bad? Because they're fiance.
I think you should tell somebody that way before you get.
Before right? Okay, you're right.
You know, because if somebody wants kids, they don't want to invest 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years with you.
But see, what's not clear and what's very important is whether these are their kids together that they already have, and he doesn't want anymore.
Right. So she makes things unclear, so the discussion can be prolonged. So what I'm saying, if she doesn't have kids, then he shouldn't have got snipped, or he should have broke it off with her.
That's a good question. Do you think? That's a doggone good question, because especially in the wake of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, where women are saying, the government cannot tell me what to do with my body. So how dare you prohibit me from getting an abortion if that is what I want to do? I should not be forced to have a child if I have a surprise or unwanted pregnancy, if I don't want one. By the same token, do you think that a man that is married or planning to get married should discuss whether to get a vasectomy with his partner before he gets one?
I definitely think
Or
so.
is it his body?
I definitely think so. If I'm the guy that he told it to, like my husband, her fiance confided in my husband, I would have told the husband. The husband should have said, "Hey, man,
You need to tell her.
you need to talk to her, because if she wants kids,
That's not
you're
fair.
just gonna be like, oh, we can't have it." Then she find out that you got your stuff clipped, and she with you for all these years, and she has a deeper love. But a lot of women and men want kids in their life. So
You know what this scenario should tell you? First of all, there's no such thing as confiding in another person. If you don't want it to get out, you should not tell anyone. Because the husband, okay, the girl's fiance confided in this woman's husband. Right. And the husband told his wife anyway. There's no such thing as confiding in a married man, because he's going to tell his wife.
He told his own wife.
Right. He told his own wife.
If Ryan is with you and
so the husband did.
If Ryan says to you with pillow talk, I'm going to tell you something you can't tell your girlfriend. You got to rock with your mate first. You can't, that's taking your friendship over your marriage.
Right. But, okay, so that's why I'm saying there's no such thing as confiding in a married person. They're more than likely going to tell their spouse. Her husband said, "I'm confiding." Her husband said, "I confide."
If Ryan, listen, this.
Yes, all right. Yes, all right.
No, there's some spouses know that their spouse can't hold a drip water. So I know that's not true. Listen,
if my husband told me something like that and told me not to repeat it, I'm one of these people. I'm not. If you tell me that you don't want me to repeat something, immediately it's out of my brain. I don't forgot you told me.
If I'm you, I would urge my husband to convince him
to tell the fiance.
Yeah, I would say, and not even. I said, man, I was thinking, man, when you even told me that we was watching the football game, but the game was good, I didn't bring it up. But all week, man, I've been dying to tell you this, man. If your wife want kids, your fiance want kids, and you don't want to give it to him, that ain't right, dog. That ain't right to go in and, into a relationship where somebody want kids. Now, in all honesty, he can say, I told her already. So she has a chance to leave.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm just going to put it on the record that
I don't think she's tripping because she's keeping.
Ideally, a man would discuss a vasectomy with his partner before he does it. But at the end of the day, it's his body. He should be able to do whatever he wants with his body. That's just how I feel about it. Just like a woman, if she doesn't want to bear a child.
I don't agree with that. I think maybe it's
so let me ask you this.
I think it's 51-49, but I don't think it's cut and dry.
Okay, let me ask you this. If your wife got pregnant and she decided for whatever reason, whether it's medical reasons or whatever, that she did not want to bear this child and she wanted to get an abortion,
I'm okay with that because you said it's for medical reasons.
I said, or whatever.
No, I don't know what whatever is. You got that's
like she don't want to have no more kids. Like she just don't want to do it no more.
If she's saying she don't want to have any more kids, that's a different situation. But if we don't have kids, we're gonna talk.
So you feel like if you tell your wife not to get an abortion, she need to do what you say and not
No,
get the
because you're
abortion.
making it that way.
No,
I would,
I'm asking you because you
okay,
said
but
you
that's how you. But
said
look how you asked the question. More so is it's like Shantae, Dr. A, how would you handle it? I would have a conversation with this person and say, I want kids. Like, so when Felicia and I got together, the first thing she said early, she says, do you want kids? Because I got to tell you right now, I don't want to make this a serious thing because I can't have kids anymore. She
that's
said,
what
I already
Felicia
had
said. No.
tubes tied, snipped, burned, and everything.
Right.
And I said,
Wait a minute, did you just put her? I don't think she may have wanted you to say that, but okay, go ahead.
Felicia, 50, about to be 55 years old.
I hope she don't mind. Sorry, Soror. But
she has 2 kids already. So I got that. I understood it at the time. I was in no
I
condition
know,
to
but
think
you
about kids.
okay. What was I gonna say? You said that before you got a vasectomy, you feel like you need to discuss that with your partner.
Yeah.
And if she says don't get the vasectomy, then you shouldn't get it.
The question is not the vasectomy or the abortion. Let's say that. The question is kids or not.
No, at the end of the day, we're talking about bodily autonomy.
No. Listen. If we decided not to have kids and she says, I got pregnant and she going to get an abortion, yeah. Okay. I don't have a problem. Our decision was not to have kids. So it's not like I'm trying to control her bodily autonomy, even if in a situation where we weren't sure, but that could be a deal breaker for me. That can make me leave the marriage. That can make me upset with you. Like if you don't have, because that's what I'm saying, that or whatever don't work with me. Now, if you got medical conditions and it can harm you or something like that, yeah, I don't want to see you die to give birth. I'd rather live with you the rest of my life and not have kids and think about adoption or something for that.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to have kids just because you don't want to have kids, then already you moving into something that's non-union. Where's the union?
Okay. So it really does depend. It just depends on the situation.
Yeah.
But so I would say I don't think she's tripping. Sometimes you just gotta
she's supporting her husband. That's why.
Right. And it would cause drama if she first of all it's gonna cause drama
break up a
with
friendship
the friend.
And it could.
Yeah, because he confided in her husband, and now you done ran and told your wife, and now the wife then told the fiance, and I didn't want her to know.
The wife is like, oh, you would. I mean, the fiance still could say, I told you I didn't want no more kids. So if she was trying to trick him, tricks on you.
True.
I'll do it again.
Okay, so last weekend I took an Uber to meet up with friends at a party. Even though several of them drove, I still had to Uber back home because nobody offered me a ride. No, I didn't explicitly ask for a ride, but I feel like they should have offered one because my place is not out of the way. Am I tripping? I'm going to say, yes, you're tripping because a closed mouth don't get fed. You need to speak up and ask for what you need.
I don't think she's tripping. I'm going to tell you why. The only thing that's hard, and she doesn't give it in the scenario, do all her friends that are there know she came in an Uber? If they think she drove there, they ain't going to ask her. But if they know she came in the Uber, then yeah, they tripping. Because
like usually your friends, you know who's driving and who's not driving. They might not, like, you know, your friend doesn't have a car, or you know your friend doesn't have a driver's license. So how else did they get there?
Yeah, but obviously we don't know. We don't have that information.
But the point I'm making is that in your friend circle, you kind of know who has transportation and who doesn't.
Everybody
Everybody got transportation.
in my friend circle. I mean,
Right.
I live
And
in
if
Houston, Texas.
right. That's my point. And if one didn't have transportation, you would know that. So if that friend who you know doesn't have transportation shows up somewhere with the group, you gotta wonder like, oh, how you get there? Who brought you
That's
here?
if
Who,
they
how
don't
you-
have transportation. What if they have transportation and decided to take an Uber?
I feel like if I know Sean, if I know you got transportation, but you decided to take an Uber to the party, then I'd be like, oh, he must have taken an Uber because he knew he was gonna be drinking and he didn't want to be driving. So I'm gonna be thinking, if you took an Uber there, you're trying to take an Uber back because if everybody at the party drinking, you ain't gonna want to drive with nobody who been drinking. You see what I'm saying? So you might already have decided that you're not going to ask nobody for a ride because you know everybody at the party drinking and you don't want to ride with them anyway. You took an
Like
Uber because you're trying to
to
take an
me,
Uber
it
back.
depends. If you came in the
Yes or
Uber,
right?
no, wrong, no and wrong. If you came in the Uber and they knew they should offer you a ride home, unless you see them tipsy and messed
You
up.
sound crazy. No, I disagree.
Kim,
Like I
if
said,
this
a closed mouth don't get fed.
where's the convention center or something close to you and Ryan? The closest
Bowie
thing.
Bay Sox Stadium.
Okay, so what's
I
that
can
about?
walk to Bowie Bay Sox Stadium.
Oh,
I
you
can
can.
walk.
Okay, well, name the second place that you can't walk to, but you can get there 10 minutes.
FedEx Field.
We ain't gonna have no
FedEx Field.
party at. This party's at FedEx Field. I'm trying to make it a party or something.
Oh, a party. Oh,
Yeah,
shoot.
that's why I was trying to say a hall.
I don't know where people. I don't go to parties like that, so I don't know where
Is
people.
there a bar restaurant somewhere close by?
Yeah, let's say Fridays.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm just making that up, but there's restaurants like that around here, like like BJ's, BJ's
let's say
restaurant.
BJ's. How is BJ's walking distance?
I could walk, but it's gonna take me a good hour probably to walk over there.
Okay. So that's what. But in the car, what is it like? 10 minutes.
5 minutes, 10
Okay.
minutes. Yeah.
So there's a celebration, and they gave us the empty room at BJ's, and we talked. You caught an Uber there, yeah, right around the corner. I just get an Uber. I don't need to bring my car. Blah blah blah. So I'm there, and I got to drive past your house to get home, right? And so no matter where, unless I go the long way and go back, I got to drive by your house to get home. If I come here and I said, Kim, you need a ride? I'll be like, Kim, you need a ride home? Now I'm going at such and such time. I'll give you that option. The party in at 2. I'm leaving at 1:30. I'm gonna leave at 1:30 because I'm here. I need to hang out and shake a leg or something. Because you might be like, yeah, I got here at 10. I'm leaving at 11:30. Yeah, you gonna Uber back. I ain't gonna take you and then drive back. We cool, but I'm just like, hey man, stay a couple more hours. That's wrong if I don't ask you that. You all right? Especially, I'm sorry, and I know this is toxic. I would do it for any sex, but especially if you're a woman.
Listen, if that's me and I go to the party,
driving in an Uber with a guy could pick you up.
but if that's me and I took an Uber to the party and I see you, I'm gonna come up to you immediately and be like, "Hey, can I get a ride home with you? Can you drop me off when you leave?" Why can't you just do that? Like, what is this about?
The conversation comes up. It's like, hey, how you get here? And you say, I drove. Oh, girl, I caught an Uber. Oh, okay. You need a ride home? Yeah, I do. Okay.
That's different.
You gonna watch the person. But if the girls that said they're gonna give you a ride home and she drunk, I'll be like, I'm an Uber. I think you should Uber with me to my house.
Okay, exactly.
We set you up in the other room because you don't need to be driving all the way back to Annapolis. So yeah,
my whole thing is I see what she's saying. Like, I feel like y'all know I took an Uber here. You can't offer me no ride home. I get that, but I'm into if you need something, speak up. Like Bernie Mac say, blow a whistle or something.
Closed mouths don't get fed. I get that. I do get that.
And there you have it.
And let us move on.
Blackness, keep on. Never say die, keep on. Blackness, keep on. Never say die, keep on. Blackness, never say die, never say die, keep on. Never say die, blackness.
So today we want to highlight as our little known Black history fact, Reverend Amos Berman.
No matter how hard reality seems, just hold on to the dream, yeah.
So Reverend Amos Berman championed abolition, voting rights, and education in the mid-1800s. His father had worked tirelessly for emancipation and civil rights, and his grandfather, Caesar Berman, had been manumitted after serving in the Revolutionary War.
Blackness, keep on. Never say die, keep on.
You good?
Oh yeah, I just realized his name is actually Amos Beeman. B-E-M-A. Okay. I was saying Berman. My bad. He was born a free man in 1812 in Colchester, Connecticut. And later in his life, he moved to Middletown, Connecticut. His grandfather was the reason why he was born a free man, because his grandfather fought in the Revolutionary War in place of his master. Beeman was also the leading advocate of the American suffrage movement in Connecticut, and he tried to help the African Americans gain the right to vote, but failed. He increased his activity by writing for Frederick Douglass's North Star and other African American publications. Later in his life, he became president of the Society of the Negro Temperance Movement. He kept 4 scrapbooks of articles documenting important moments and the ideas he truly valued. Reverend Amos Beeman, our little known Black history fact.
Let us move on. And let us move on.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. All right, we got a fraud in the making.
$237 million.
Yeah, let my partner touch on that.
A record multi-million-dollar, $237 million gift to Florida A&M University. This is Florida's only public HBCU. It has been void for months because an independent investigator said Thursday a third-party report determined school officials failed to vet a fraudulent contribution and that the donor's self-valuation of his fledgling hemp company was baseless. So this is a guy who claimed that he owned a hemp company. And it turns out that the donation was fraudulent. He's fraudulent, and the donation
think-
is
I
worthless.
think they need to look into his mental health.
I know, who does that?
I mean, I remember the young man doing college football season. This was years ago, in the 2000s. You know how when they go to school and they sit at the desk and the table and they have the hats when they trying to pick what college football team they going to, or basketball team. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I remember this. He was Hispanic guy, big guy, like he played offensive line, and he had the news out there, and he was in front of the school with his family, and he had three hats. Um, I can't recall the school. I want to say University of Cincinnati was the school he had chosen. He had other schools on there, like not huge schools like Alabama, but schools in that making. And then he put it on. Everybody was applauding him, crying and clapping. Then they found out that the school university was like, we don't know him. We never sent him a recruitment letter.
Oh,
So
wow.
things like this is like he's doing this for appearance sake. And he's sitting up there knowing he lying, one,
Right.
knowing the hemp company is fraudulent, and the $237 million, and it's embarrassing. But like I said, you got to look at this gentleman's mental health to see if he's okay, because it's so much. Sometimes people want to pretend that they're a part of something, and going through the length to do something like this. How you probably don't have $237. You saying you got $237 million. That's something we need. And I didn't. You know what? That came off a little funny. I don't mean it to come off that way. I mean it to come off like people are doing anything for recognition, and
Right.
it just ain't so. And I think that we need to try to stop that. So yeah, I'm sorry to FAMU, because $237 million is a lot of money,
Yes.
great deal of money.
His name is Gregory Jeremy, Gerami, and he started this farm. It's called Batterson Farms. He started it in 2021. And so, I mean, to me, that would be that would raise a red flag right there. So in
I
3-4
mean,
years,
marijuana sells.
you
I
can
don't know.
afford to give a gift of $237 million.
Yeah, that
Okay.
must mean you made $1 billion in 3 years.
But that just begs the question, like, how much investigation
Vetting.
does a university do when they get a gift that size? Do they just take people at their word? Because now they're just saying that the check is not worth the paper it was written on.
Yeah, but you're right, and that's where the embarrassment comes in for Florida A&M University. What type of vetting did you do of this individual before he came up to a podium saying he wanted to donate 230? If somebody says, and I'm saying I'm president of Texas Southern University, and they say I want to donate $200 million to you. I was like, oh, okay. I said, that's great. Let me talk to my board of regents. He's gonna say, well, y'all don't want the money. I said, yeah, but we just got to make sure that everything is copacetic. We don't know you. We don't know your
Right.
background. You got to give us a chance. And if he's like, nah, if y'all don't want to do that, I said, well, you got me skeptical, because I could be taking money from a notorious kingpin.
Exactly. Now,
So
see, in the case of like a Robert Smith that gave the gift at Morehouse,
yeah,
we know he caked up.
yeah,
We know he's legitimately a billionaire.
right.
That's like Oprah giving money to Morehouse. It's like, okay, we know this check is good. You know what I mean? But some random person by the way, he's 30 years old. So it's like, and it's possible for a young person like that to be a billionaire, but I
Yeah,
just
Mark Zuckerberg was a billionaire before 30. Yeah.
but I feel like in America, we kind of know there aren't that many. Let me see, how many billionaires are there in
I
America?
think they said it's over 60. What did they say? 160 maybe? Something like that.
Okay, so I guess there are
But we
many.
don't know if he had to have a billion. He could add 700 million, $600 million.
That's true.
But like you said, somebody that's giving that amount of money away, they need to be.
That it.
Yeah, but it's a. I'm telling you right now, this is a sad situation. It really is.
It really, really
Yeah,
is.
you
And
got
the
to
fact that they announced this at the graduation, I think. They
right. So
announced
they
it.
need to really, for their school's sake. That's embarrassing. I'm sorry. I almost would think that would be a dismissal for the head administration. At least
They're
the
saying there's 756 billionaires in the United States. Wow, I would have never guessed that.
756.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. There you have it. It's a less than 1,000.
Let me see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 states that don't have any billionaires. But
What
there's
states are those?
Alaska,
Okay.
Delaware, New Hampshire, New Mexico, North Dakota, Vermont, and West Virginia. No
I'm
billionaires.
surprised of Vermont.
But there's
I'm
billionaires in all
surprised
the
of
other
New
43
Hampshire.
states.
Yeah.
I'm kind of I feel like I'm surprised about Delaware because a lot of corporations are incorporated in Delaware. It just seems
Yeah.
like
They just incorporated. They papers
that's
are there.
true. That's true.
Yeah. And a lot of people in
West
Delaware, they
Virginia
probably,
does not surprise me.
yeah.
What were you about to say?
I said Vermont, New Hampshire.
North Dakota, Vermont,
Yeah,
West
those are
Virginia.
all vacation spots. South Dakota is where uh what do you call that thing? Mount Rushmore is in South Dakota. So North Dakota doesn't have it, but South Dakota does. All right. All righty.
And let us move
Oops.
on.
One more time. That wasn't clear.
And let us move on.
Okay, my partner gonna take this too. Michael Bloomberg donated a substantial amount of money to HBCUs.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, so Michael Bloomberg made a $600 million gift to the medical schools at historically Black colleges and universities. This is a gift from his charitable organization, and they announced the donation of $600 million to 4 Black medical colleges. And they disclosed this gift at the National Medical Association conference. So the name of his philanthropic organization is Bloomberg Philanthropies, and they are directing $175 million each to the following institutions: Howard University College of Medicine, Meharry Medical College, Morehouse School of Medicine, and the last,
Charles Drew, you said?
Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is getting actually $75 million.
So Howard University is in Washington, D.C. Meharry's in Nashville, Tennessee. Morehouse is in Atlanta, Georgia. And Charles Drew, is that in Los Angeles, California?
It's in California.
Do you know what part?
No, but I can Google it. And then there's $5 million that's going to Xavier College of Medicine in New Orleans, Louisiana. So that's awesome. So let's see. Charles Drew Medical School is in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah. It only makes sense. It only makes sense.
What? That is in LA or that he's giving the money?
No, that is in. You said California. That is in Los Angeles, California.
Right, like a major metropolitan area. Yeah. That's awesome. I love that. That's almost over $500 million.
And let us move on.
Somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me. I done been lied on, backstabbed and mistreated. Fake love made me hate love. You can take it back, I don't need it, yeah. But somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me. I done been lied on, backstabbed and mistreated. Fake love made me hate love. You can take it back, I don't need it.
Prayers goes out to the family of Jacoby Jones, former NFL kick returner. Jacoby Jones died in his sleep at his home in New Orleans on July 14th. The medical examiner has ruled Jones died of natural causes. They said it's from cardiovascular disease. So me and Felicia sat next to him during one of the SWAC basketball tournaments. We had floor seats. The floor seats on the trip were only like $85, but it was at the Toyota Center, and he was there. Rest in peace to Jacoby Jones. Condolences to the family. It's always sad to see anyone leave, but at such a young age. So
yeah, he was 40.
Yeah. Shouts
and
out.
they said he had high blood pressure for a prolonged period of time.
And I gotta work on mine. All right. Let's go. Words of wisdom. And our wrap up came from Gwendolyn Brooks. First fight, then fiddle. What's going on? What's going on was how do you feel about African American reality shows? The white middle class arguments. Are non-traditional black families looked down upon in the greater black community? Talk of the town was Kamala selects Tim Walz. Played a great game of Am I Tripping? Little known black history fact was Reverend Amos Beeman. The All Hell No went to a fraudulent donation that was given to Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida. We gave it up to Michael Bloomberg for giving almost $1 billion to 4 HBCU medical schools. And we just sent prayers up for Jacoby Jones, a former NFL player. So with that being said, this is episode 63. Thank you for tuning in. And as always,
thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us. And as always, in parting, we wish you love, peace, and knowledge to feed your soul.
Okay, peace, y'all.